Hello, I'm WBZ TV meteorologist Barry Burbank. Have your forecast for the next several days. Let's take a quick look at March snowfall in Boston over the last few years, going back to 2012. It's all over the place, as you can see. Last year, as I'm sure you remember, it was quite a wintry month of March. Boston had almost 2 feet of snow. That is quite amazing in itself. Then you go to the other extreme back in 2012 when there was virtually no snow and practically no snow that whole winter because we had a super El Nino, as it's called, and super El Ninos can make it very warm, and that winter was a blowtorch winter for sure. On average, Boston gets 7.8 inches of snow in March, so it looks like we're going to have a good solid 6 inches of snow coming up for tonight in this impending storm. If it stays all snow, it looks like it's going to be that way in Boston. We'll have to watch that rain line very closely, though, overnight tonight. We got 2 inches of snow yesterday, bringing the seasonal total to 15.9, but that's way off from the average snowfall is 43.8. 37.3 in Worcester, got 1.5 inches there yesterday. Some spots, southeastern Mass yesterday, had up to 5 to 5.5 to 6 inches. Well, now we're looking at a quiet day. It's cold this morning as we do this recording. It's very, very cold out west. That's the most astonishing thing, is how much cold air is draining down through the plain states. Look at that, 9 at Topeka this morning, and it's 12 below zero at Minneapolis, 19 below zero at Williston, North Dakota. Just incredibly cold, extending all the way up into Canada. And this reservoir of cold air, and some of that's going to break off and come right down into the northeast. We'll show you why in just a couple of minutes. Meantime, today, though, it's going to be pleasant, beautiful, with sunshine. We've got lower 40s coming up for today, and it will be melting snow for sure, while it continues frigid across the northern plains. It'll barely get up to the goose egg in Minneapolis today, while it's 86 in Orlando this afternoon. The storm which went by yesterday and produced just a minor deal here turned into quite a gale center out over the Atlantic as it intensified. This next storm is on its way. It's tapping Gulf of Mexico moisture, and that's the one that's going to stream northeastward and affect us overnight tonight. A little batch of clouds came down across southern portions of New Hampshire. You can see in northern Massachusetts, a lot of that cloudiness is going to be disappearing this morning. So here's your headlines for this storm. It's not going to be a major storm, but still the biggest snowfall this season. Will certainly exceed the 3.6 inches of Boston's preceding biggest storm, which is really not much of anything. It's going to be really maxing out between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m., starting a little bit before that and tapering down after 8 a.m. Much of it's going to be a pasty, wet, heavy, wet snow, heavier type snowfall. Tough to shovel around tomorrow morning over especially coastal areas, and that rain-snow line will show you that momentarily. So the sunshine will give way to more cloudiness this afternoon as the storm approaches. And we see around 7:30, 8 o'clock, it's in the Connecticut River Valley, and then beyond that it comes into Boston sometime around 9 or so. So it's all blue shading, all indicative of snow, even though the temperature is 32 to 35 here. Looks like this should be mainly a wet snow event in eastern sections, with it trending towards changing over to rain, as you can see on the New England south coast and out over the Cape. It looks like that may pivot up into southeastern Massachusetts, into southern Bristol and Plymouth counties. That's the way it looks at the present time. While it's snowing like crazy here, it's a pretty good thumping of snow in the early morning hours, so it's going to make a mess of the roads. Since it's falling at night and the tempo of the snow is going to be so much that it is going to cause greasy roads, then slushy roads, then enough to plow, and a mess tomorrow morning for the commute. So I suspect there'll be at least delays and probably cancellations too to deal with tomorrow morning, as we'll have this storm winding down by 9 o'clock or so and pushing offshore. The afternoon will be so much different as road conditions definitely improve fast, and looks like the sun will be coming on out and temperatures go to the low middle 40s. So it's definitely going to impact the travel for sure. And in the early morning hours, even starting by late this evening, in the early morning hours, tough call, 5 a.m., the first part of the morning commute, high impact on the roads. 9 a.m., still considered high impact, but by 1 p.m., some impact, but much less than what we'll have early in the day if this 5 to 8 inches does materialize. Right now, it looks like a pretty good forecast. If the storm track changes a little bit, we'll have to tweak those, get latest numbers coming up tonight here on WBZ. Lower amounts over southeastern Mass due to the fact that there will be some rain involved there. With light wind all day today, the wind's going to start picking up this evening, and in the early morning hours it's going to start blowing and gusting pretty good. There you can see the storm center out at sea, so we got a northeast and northerly wind tomorrow morning, pretty gusty, 20 to 40 miles an hour near the coast, much less wind inland. And then it looks like a couple of windy days following on Tuesday and Wednesday. And once this storm goes by, and up in the Canadian Maritimes, the cold air is going to start to whip in here. So cold that it's going to be wind chill temperatures near or slightly below zero Tuesday morning again. There'll be a gusty wind of 15 to 30 miles an hour, not 50 to 60 miles an hour like we had last weekend, Gus, but cold enough so this is a cold air mass that's going to make it feel like near or slightly below zero. In the afternoon on Tuesday, it's going to feel like the middle teens. And then Tuesday night, it goes down again. So by Wednesday morning, it feels like near or slightly below zero again. And we warm up to the teens again to 10 degrees on Wednesday afternoon, and feeling like as much as 10 to 15 below zero on, I would say, Thursday morning. I want to go to one more map and show you what's going to be going on here with the jet stream, because here's all the cold air in Canada. I know we've been saying this all winter long. We had to keep watching these lobes of cold air which whirling around, and a piece of that's going to come right down. So look at the jet stream there. On Wednesday and Thursday, it comes right out of central Canada and right into the northeast. March can be a very fickle month, that's for sure. And after the storm we have tonight, it's nice tomorrow afternoon, actually. Then it's really cold for 3 days, and it's rather quiet into next weekend as we slowly recover from a very, very cold air mass. That's it for now. Have a nice rest of your weekend.